There are two things that get brought up every single time I tell someone I follow a plant-based diet. Where do you get your protein, bro? And are you deficient in vitamin B12? Well, in this video, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on vitamin B12. Should we be supplementing with it? Do people who eat animal products, should they be supplementing with it? And if we should, how much are we supposed to be supplementing with and how often? What's up, super foodies? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tessa. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I am also certified as a personal trainer and a nutrition coach. So I love talking all things vitamin, nutrients, supplements, superfoods. That is my bread and butter. What I'm going to be sharing with you today is completely evidence-based. I know that there's a lot of BS out there in the supplementing world. So I just want to make sure that all of my research and everything that I do is all linked down below. So if you want to check that out yourself, go ahead and do so. A little bit of background in vitamin B12 before I kind of get into the nitty-gritty of this video. Vitamin B12 is a water-soluble vitamin that's mostly found in things like fish, shellfish, meat, dairy, eggs, animal products. So if you're like me, following a vegan diet, or if you're even a vegetarian, you're kind of out of luck when it comes to getting vitamin B12 from food. Even if you're not like me, we clean our food so meticulously. Even people who eat animal products, it's not surprising when they have a vitamin B12 deficiency. But what do we actually need to do to supplement it? And if we do, what's the optimum dose, frequency, type of supplementing that's best? You know, what the heck are we supposed to do? Well, I'm here to tell you. Before we get into further details about vitamin B12, I was fortunate enough to partner with Bricker Labs for this video. Bricker Labs supplied me with their Vitamin B12 Blast just for me to try for a month, get my opinion on it, kind of opinion on the company itself too, because there are so many supplement companies out there that are just complete crap and you're paying for supplements that are either harmful for you or not doing anything for you. So I love partnering with supplement companies to actually create a relationship and see if, hey, if this company is something that is worth your guys' time and also worth your, money in spending for their supplements. Later in this video, I will do a full review of the supplement. So if you're just interested in fully looking at Bricker Labs and knowing my overall opinion, go to this timestamp right here. All right, back to vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 has been shown to help with age-related blurred vision, canker sores, nerve health, and many other essential functions in our body. People at risk for vitamin B12 deficiency usually include strict vegetarians, vegans, as well as those at an increased requirements associated with, pregnancy, anemia, cancer, liver, and kidney disease. And usually a higher dietary intake of vitamin B12 or supplements is usually needed in order to restore and maintain those optimal levels. So why is supplementing with B12 important? If you don't have adequate levels of vitamin B12, levels of an artery damaging compound called homocysteine can actually start to rise in your bloodstream. One study in vegetarians whose vitamin B12 levels were lower actually had more dysfunctional arteries than those eating animal products. So what the heck does a dysfunctional artery mean? Basically, our arteries are not able to expand and contract in a healthy way. It also decreases kind of our blood supply and the way that our blood flows through our body. So it can cause a lot of problems, heart attacks, strokes. So we do not want dysfunctional arteries. Now I know you may be asking, how do we know that B12 levels were to blame? When they were given B12 supplements, their arteries actually got better. And also vitamin B12 deficiencies can lead to a host of horrible conditions like anemia, neuropsychiatric disorders, and it can also cause irreversible nerve damage. So that's why it's so important to be supplementing with vitamin B12. Okay, so I've kind of told you why it's important. You should do it, you should supplement, but how much should we be supplementing with? And how do we actually ensure that our supplements are working and that we ensure our B12 levels are kind of where they should be? Well, in the lovely words of Dr. Michael Greger, medical tests really should only be ordered if you're actually going to change what you're going to be doing or you're trying to prevent something. Yearly physical, making sure that everything in your body is normal. That test is just extra blood work or urine work, depending on how they're gonna test your B12 levels. Plus, it's just like another copay that you have to pay when you go see the doctors to test those levels. However, it's really important to test for vitamin B12 deficiency, especially if one has neurological or psychiatric or developmental issues, especially infants, toddlers, vegans, or pregnant or breastfeeding individuals, just because the consequences of a a vitamin B12 deficiency are so great that we just want to make sure that those levels are a-okay. Okay, so how much should we be supplementing with then? Well, the recommended daily intake of vitamin B12 is usually around 4 to 7 micrograms. However, the cheapest way to get our vitamin B12 is honestly probably with one big old 2,500 microgram supplement of vitamin B12 once a week. Now, I don't know how many of you are great at mental math. If you only need 4 to 7 micrograms a day, why would you need 2,500 a week? That doesn't make sense. Well, turns out our vitamin B12 receptors in our body actually get filled up, and we can only absorb about 1.5 micrograms. However, 1% of that dosing actually diffuses kind of passively, so that can absorb a little bit more than those 1.5 in general. So if you divide that by 7, that's about 4 micrograms a day, so perfect. Also, a supplement of around 250 micrograms will kind of provide you with that daily supplement. If you get that 3 times a day, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner, definitely take it with some food because that'll kind of help the absorption as well, which is just kind of sucky because then you have to take it 3 times a day, and remembering even like a supplement 1 time a day is sometimes rough for me, guys. Obviously, you can take more depending on your situation or your health history. You can take 3,000 or 5,000 micrograms a week, or you can take 400 or 1,000 micrograms per day, because the good news is, since it's a water-soluble vitamin, the excess is just kind of peed out, so it's not like it's gonna cause any buildup or toxicity in your system. So now that we've kind of talked about the importance, how much you should be supplementing with, I'm gonna go right into kind of my review of Bricker Labs B12 Blast. So I have been trying this now probably for the past 2 months, and I have really absolutely loved it. Always ask all of the individuals or all of the companies that I want to work with, if they're a supplement company and they tell me that they test for purity and potency, I want to verify that. I want them to send me their lab results from, the product I'm taking to ensure that, it's not harmful, it doesn't have any harmful bacteria or chemicals or just contaminants in general. And literally within 1 day of me asking this rep, Vivian, shout out to Vivian, you my girl, she gave it to me. And that right there was like, yes, I know this is a good company. Worked with other vitamin and supplement companies that don't do that. I will ask them in emails 5 times over an entire month, and I'll never hear from them back. And I'm like, okay, fine, then I don't want to work with you if you're not going to prove to me, you're providing safe and quality supplements for people. I have never tried a liquid form of vitamin B12, and it is life-changing. It's so easy, it tastes delicious, it's just kind of fun to pop it in your mouth. I love that it's once a day dosing, so it's 1,000 micrograms, so it is on that higher end that I previously talked about. But once again, I'm not really worried about it because you'll just pee out the excess that your body doesn't need. Another great thing is that the formula is totally vegan. It is gluten and soy free as well. It really is kind of a pure formula. They also put folate in this formula, so that's also really important, especially for women. So I love that it's just kind of an all-around great B vitamin supplement. They're American made, they're made in the United States, they're companies based in Arizona. Their staff is just friendly, supportive, and so if you have any questions, email them, DM them through Instagram, and they really are responsive. Obviously, I gotta talk about the negatives too, because I'm not just here being like, woo, look at this, it's the most amazing thing in the entire world. Really, the biggest 2 that I had was, number 1 is that they use fructose syrup. Obviously, it's raspberry flavored. They do have natural flavors in here too, but it's not my favorite that they use fructose syrup, and then it's also not my favorite that they don't tell you how much. I would love to see an amount in milligrams of the added sugar that they use, so I know am I just taking 3 sugar cubes worth every single time I dose? I don't know. And that's actually a good idea. I'm gonna message Vivian. I'll put it in the description. I'll let you guys know. So on top of that, anyone with insulin resistance or diabetes, this probably is not the best supplement for you, just because it has that added sugar. The other thing that is slightly annoying, but really not that big of a deal, is that you have to refrigerate it after opening. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense, but that also means that it's not very portable. So if you're traveling, you can't just stick it in your bag and carry it with you. Troublesome for those who may not remember to take things every single day, or have trouble remembering when did I take that supplement. So that's really the only 2 things that I saw problems with. Overall, I really do like this company, and I'll probably continue to buy it in, you know, this product in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, make sure to put them in the comments and I will, you know, type a little response to you really quick. If you want to, you know, learn more about supplementation, superfoods, holistic health in general, make sure to check me out on Instagram at the Superfood Pharmacist, because I do daily tips and tricks on there over my stories. So if you have any questions whatsoever, you can DM me on Instagram as well. All right, guys, thanks again so much for watching. If this was helpful to you, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. It really supports me in kind of the movement that I want to have towards evidence-based supplementing and holistic health. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and we'll see you next time. Bye.